Hello guys, today was a very important, I can say meaningful day for the democratic world. It was truly beautiful to observe how leaders of the European countries came to visit Ukraine, Zelensky, and walk the streets of Kyiv unprotected. Compare that to what we saw in Moscow yesterday. Bulletproof screens, Putin hiding behind Xi, and all that, like guards everywhere, no internet in the center of Moscow. And here we had a beautiful, very important visit of Macron, Merz, Starmer, Tusk to Zelensky. And they demonstrated this unity, this tremendous solidarity, and even called Donald Trump. And this is actually what we may name and describe as 4D chess. They have outplayed everyone from the diplomatic political point of view. And now it definitely looks like there is total unity, total solidarity between Zelensky, Trump, Macron, Starmer, Merz, Tusk, and many more good people, and the way they see the ceasefire, the negotiation process, and actually now it is us who put the ultimatum to Putin. And the conditions for a ceasefire are absent, but there are a lot of things that I am sure Putin will not accept, because his plan is not a ceasefire, not negotiations, but the destruction of the world order. And I'm happy to see that there are men ready to protect this world order, and we know how to do the job. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of Russia, subscribe. We will discuss that on the channel sometime soon. So today, Starmer, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Macron, the President of France, Donald Tusk, the Prime Minister of Poland, and Merz, the Chancellor, new strong Chancellor of Germany, came to visit President Zelensky and people of Ukraine. There are tons of beautiful videos how they travel, the best in the world Ukrainian railways, how they hug, how they walk the streets, how they talk with people, how they are not afraid of people. That is the best proof when you are a normal politician. You may not be perfect, that's understandable, all of us are not, but you are real. And it was such a tremendous contrast between what we've seen yesterday, that pathetic, Botox, you've taught me the world, dictators, so swollen, so desperate, hiding behind screens, hiding behind each other, not talking to people, turning off internet, banning everything. These people cannot win. They are losers by nature. Just look at Xi Jinping. Just look at Putin. And what makes the whole situation genius is the fact that Macron, Tusk, Starmer, and Merz, together with Zelensky, called Trump. And from Trump's perspective, it was just like they asked for his supervision, they demonstrated their respect to the greatest deal maker ever, and most importantly, they actually outplay this strategy, and they keep saying that they all agree on the American version of the 30-day ceasefire. Zelensky supports Trump, Macron supports Trump, and it's fascinating because these does not leave any options for Trump. He cannot go back and deny, and it also corners Putin. It does not give Putin any time to think, because according to this ultimatum, he has a day and a half to agree on the 30-day ceasefire that must start on the 12th of May. If not, he will have serious consequences, new sanctions, new weapons delivered to Ukraine, new intelligence sharing, and obviously no efforts to legitimize Putin. Subscribe to see the defeat of Russia, to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine and all the democratic world, and please share these videos if you share my opinion. Honestly, Putin hoped he could keep manipulating Trump, saying some compliments, potentially promising some money via Vitkov, and the plan of Russia was pretty simple: to keep this negotiations process alive, but at the same time to keep targeting Ukrainian cities, to keep terrorizing the world. And we've witnessed that already during these so-called ceasefires. The number of attacks on Russia on Ukraine actually doubled. Unfortunately, same as the number of people hurt by them. So it was just a plan of Russia to drag this negotiations process and at the same time to keep destroying Ukraine and waiting for a moment when Trump is tired, no desire to support Ukraine, no desire to provide any weapons, and just like we are simply left to be destroyed. But I think this wisdom, creativity, experience, and adequacy of the coalition of the willing, of Macron and Starmer, and I've heard that Macron is now like a real friend of Zelensky, and I kind of like it, merci, and that they outplayed both Putin and Trump, because there were definitely signs that Trump tried hard to give Putin an opportunity to get out of this situation, and it was these talks about Crimea and the need to recognize Crimea as Russian. That would be a deadly precedent for the diplomacy in general. Then at the very beginning, you remember that awful ambush in the Oval Office. Its purpose was to equate Ukraine and Russia, to forget who is the aggressor and who is the defender, who is the victim, and to blame Ukraine for not wanting peace and so on. And here, the genius of Starmer, Macron, Merz, Tusk, and Zelensky outplay Trump in 4D chess too, because they say, we follow your guidance. We totally support everything you've advised us. Now Putin has to accept that. And if Putin does not accept that, as a strong global leader, you have to act. You have to keep imposing sanctions. You have to deliver new weapons. You have to keep sharing intelligence with Ukraine. And what I observe right now, Vitkov seems to be not that popular anymore. There are facts he used Kremlin interpreters during his meetings, and he did that 3 times or 4 times, but these news surfaced recently. And I think it's this shift, like when Trump cannot afford to support Putin, when he sees this strong unity and solidarity between the European leaders, who also demonstrate the support to Trump's strategy, just as all narcissists need. What will Putin do? We don't know, but I think it greatly depends, first of all, on his understanding of the Russian economy, and not for today, but in future, as the sanctions keep growing, if he does not agree on a ceasefire, and he is not like adequate, we understand that. The reaction of his spokesman, Peskov, was pretty predictable. He kept saying that we'll consider these points, and at the same time that they want our allies to stop supplying Ukraine with weapons. This looks very absurd. If you remember, Russia keeps getting weapons and supplies from China, North Korea, Iran. So according to this ceasefire, Ukraine should not receive anything and Russia can keep receiving everything. That's absurd, that's nonsense, and no one will ever accept that. So Putin actually has this very short, very stressful period of time until the 12th of May to make his decision. We don't know if Witkoff will travel to him to deliver these 22 points that Zelensky, Starmer, and like Ukraine, USA, and leaders of the European Union offer him. And I kind of like it how everything shifted, that we dictate the conditions. Let me know in the comments below, do you think Putin will accept a ceasefire offer? Because I think no. I think he will not. And I think he predicted a similar move. And he actually invited Xi Jinping to discuss his future support of Russia. And I, by the way, believe this super attention. And literally, Xi Jinping seemed like the host, the leader of that Moscow parade. Chinese translation was so loud that it was really difficult to hear him, speaking Russian. And I love the analysis that a famous Ukrainian publicist and YouTuber Vitaly Portnikov provides on that. So this can actually be a reason why Trump was also triggered, because Russia did not look independent at all. It's totally dependent on China, and their alliance is impossible to break without the defeat and demilitarization of Russia. Xi was literally the master of that parade. And he was also the one to openly support Russian aggression against Ukraine this time. So I think the world is getting more polarized. That's pretty obvious. And the United States again have to choose sides. And it seems to me that after these failures of tariffs, after numerous other, this smart, I don't want to say this smart move by the coalition of the willing, by Zelensky, is something that can both save Ukraine and save Trump's image. So why do I say save Ukraine if I don't believe that ceasefire is possible? Well, I may be wrong. It's not the first time in life, But then the United States will continue supporting us. It is wrong to betray your partner. Or at least Trump won't have options to prevent others like France or the United Kingdom from supporting us. He won't be able to play against us. We've signed the mineral deal. We have demonstrated total acceptance of all his peace efforts. So, and Putin keeps disrespecting him, keeps uniting with Xi Jinping. So the situation actually is very obvious and not that difficult to make your decision. What is also interesting, according to the recent updates, the United States now confirmed that they allow transporting some missiles, including Patriot missiles from Germany to Ukraine. We were waiting for this permission and now we've received that. So I'm really interested in your opinion. What impressions do you have from this meeting in Kyiv? I was super honored to see these beautiful people and the way they behave, the way they talk, the way they walk. Just compare that to pathetic Botox Kremlin grandpa. Just think about that. What's the future like? Does he have Putin's face? I'm sorry. And let me know, do you think he will agree on a ceasefire? He can pretend he agrees. He can keep talking about it. Everything is possible. But I love how smart Zelensky, Starmer, Macron, Tusk, and Merz are. And I like how they respect each other, support each other. I have a lot of hopes for Europe, and maybe Europe will also save the United States from committing some very serious mistakes. Remember to check new video on my new channel, Anna Danilchuk, where I share what is life in times of the big war from a civilian perspective. Join me on X, join me on Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, and we have an amazing Discord community. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. Check the merch shop, the link is in that description. There are lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. And thank you so much for standing with Ukraine. Russia can and will be defeated. Slava Ukraini!